I never actually really need to think hard about it. That's so not true. Let me actually show you how quickly I can actually turn this into English. I'm not lying. Anything. I never actually read any of these. I already had done that. It's really easy. The one criminal in the family. That's really great. One criminal in the family. I don't really need to think about it. It's really easy. One criminal in the family. Approximately 4 million crimes and delicts have already been registered in France in 2016, as well as the victims and the families who actually make their submission to the truthful cataclysm to experience the change after the actual crimes. One actually forgets often that the remnant peoples of the guilty criminals and perpetrators, they are also the families, and close to one another, they already experienced a life that would never be the same. Because we sometimes often actually think about the victims and families and the victims who've been actually affected by the crimes. However, after the criminal incidents, the criminal perpetrators of families, they're also victims that were affected heavily by the incident because their life would never be the same again. That's what has been said. I don't really need to think twice about it. Facing the connection that would actually unite the most closely connected to the having criminal in their family, they actually watch often by keeping silence on the issue, as if they would actually be suffering from the immediate hunting experience by the victims, or they feel the guilt by being brought to justice because of their family's wrongdoing, as being just because they were being part of the families of 4 guilty parties, or they are actually, smudged with shame or culpability. Olivier Delacroix gives an awards by bringing their voice out there to represent the men and women who've been actually connected to the criminal perpetrators by being part of the family and sharing the blood ties with them, who've been somehow actually offended and shared the chagrin and rejection. Who should every day carry the burden of the crime they have never committed by themselves each day, just because their family members somehow got involved with the criminal acts. At night of the summer 2012, the youngest son of the Lydia, literally tortured and sequestrated and let one of one's own colleague die by torturing that person to death as a colleague. After all, despite all the fact that she has done, her mother actually had to become a criminal, ideally abandoned by one's own son, because he would never actually be separated from her spirit forever. For that reason, as a mother of this guilty son, she carries the burden ever since that day by actually being contaminated spiritually. And Lydia is one of the rare mothers who actually, dare to speak out to gives out of feelings, and having a one-on-one face-to-face meeting with one's own son to talk about the things that had been committed to the point of irrevocability. After 24 years of a marriage, Philip sees one's life changed completely when his wife, who actually believes he knew very well, somehow she has committed a murder by killing off one's own boss with a shot into the chest in the morning. Wow. This boss was also the lover. So Philip actually sees his life, changed completely just because of his wife, who actually he believes he knew really well at the time, swearing that in the morning that she has assassinated his boss with a shot in the chest, and this boss was turned out to be her lover. And Leticia grew up in the family, very much caring and loving. However, when she was 24, her father is often arrested, accused of violation, and accused of harassing the minors sexually, less than 14-year-old. The very shocking experience almost equal to trampling the earth, which attacks the entire family by pushing them in misery. I don't really miss it.